Welcome to Company Showcase, an advertising feature on HowStreet.com.
I'm Jim Goddard. I'm speaking with Larry Reaugh. He's the CEO and president of American Manganese. Welcome back to the show, Larry.
Well, thanks, Jim. It's always a pleasure to be on the show.
You had a news release earlier this week. Can you tell us about it?
Well, it was a news release updating the work on the IPs, the intellectual properties that we're planning on, that we will be filing patents on here very soon. And I just want to explain that we're looking at potential of 3 IPs and a pilot plant this year. And I would like to say that the work has started on all of those, and looks like it's pretty much completed on the 1 IP here. And what it does is that during the patenting process and the bench scale work that we did last year, we recognized that there were certain things that could be done in the process that would streamline it, not just streamline it, but potentially reduce the size of the whole plant. And that's very important, and we had to do some work to prove that we could actually do that before really starting to build out the pilot plant. And I just want to assure everybody that has started. And this is all very good for the company. We could end up with, 2 to 3 patents on this, or 2 to 4 patents on this process. And we want to get this done by the new patent applications in before June, and that'll become apparent at some point. But no, I couldn't be happier with the results to date. We're testing 2 types of material, the scraps out of the U.S. and the ground-up material out of Europe. I won't go any further and say where they come from because there's competition out there, and I don't want anybody muddying the waters. And we're getting good results from both. Certainly the ground-up material probably will not, once you utilize that, it probably will not get to the 100%, but it'll be close. And because there's a lot of impurities with the ground-up material. But as you can see, we've dealt with the electrolyte, and that was important, and we have a process now that deals with electrolyte right off the beginning. So everything's progressing well, Jim. And while we're talking about that, everybody's concerned about the market. I mean, everything we put out is good, and it can be backed up. There's nothing in there that's gilding the lily or anything. In reality, we're getting the results that we expected to get. And we're starting to see a little heavier volume in the stock, and I think that some of the stragglers on exercising their 5-cent warrant are probably doing that right now. So that would be some of that. And again, that puts some money in the treasury, but we don't like to see it happen at this late date in the warrant exercise. So I'd like to remind everybody, when you see good volume and you got good profits, that's the time you should exercise your warrants, not wait until the end days, because you never know what's going to happen in the market. And the market right now is saying, well, we're still sitting on the fence watching everything. I mean, we're not the only stock suffering. We're not suffering as much as some, and we're suffering a little more than others. But the reality is that there's just not a lot of buying in the market at this time. So all I can say is, for any new guys coming in, it's a good buying opportunity. And I had mentioned that we were getting a lot of interest out of Asia. That continues to accelerate. And, I think the Asians are, again, about 100 steps in front of the Western and North American markets when it comes to recognizing a potential. And so, who knows? I'm not going to predict that a deal will be done. I wouldn't like to see a deal done until we've got our patents issued, but who knows? It's not just China, and it's Japan and South Korea and Indonesia and India that keep emailing me wanting to get into discussions, and but I'm getting for every one I get in North America, I get about 8 or 9 in offshore. So that's something for everybody to consider when they talk about doing a deal with Tesla or something like that. They're not prepared to do a deal. They're waiting for the world to catch up with them, and it will. But they're not prepared to step out of the box like the Asians are.
Larry, for new listeners, can you maybe explain what the whole game plan is for American Manganese and what you do?
American Manganese is a critical metal company that developed a process for taking very low grades of manganese at Artillery Peak, Arizona. And by the way, that is now becoming front and center. I met with a lot of the labs that come under the Defense Department and the DOE when I was in the conference at Las Vegas. And there's a lot of interest in manganese. But we took that process, we took it right through to a pre-feasibility study, and it showed that we could actually, get the electrolytic manganese metal out at a comparable cost to China. And but unfortunately, the price just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. So that project ended up in the shelf. But it was reactivated when it was recognized that the chemistries would work for the cathode materials in a lithium-ion battery. And it was important that we developed that we could get the cathode materials back. We've got 100% and of all of them. So that was very important before we went into other developments. If we couldn't get it, then you have to make money, Jim. You can't just be doing a good deeds. I mean, you have to have money to do good deeds. So we're very happy with that. The company is now focused entirely on their lithium-ion battery recycling, and we are traded on the Toronto Stock Exchange Venture under the symbol AMY. We're traded in the U.S. under the symbol AMYZF. We're traded in Frankfurt under the symbol 2AM. Our website is AmericanManganeseInc.com, where you can do all kinds of due diligence. And you can contact me at LREAUGH@AMYMN.com, or you can phone me at 778-574-4444.
Larry, thanks for the update.
Okay, Jim.
I've been speaking with Larry Reaugh, CEO and President of American Manganese. Our conversation took place on April 27th. I'm Jim Goddard.
Comments made on Company Showcase are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at HowStreet.com. Company Showcase is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.